And we are live. Hello, everyone. I am Pruitt from WebDM. This is my illustrious cast here. Before we get started, let's just have a bit of an introduction of everyone. So, quickly, if you could just go around, we're going to start with you, Greg. Just tell us who you are and who you're playing today, and then we'll launch right into the game.
Awesome. I am Greg, Grimjack21502 on the Twitchers and the Twitters, here for a little Starward Bound, ready to go where no halfling has gone before. For the first time ever, I will be playing a halfling rogue, an arcane trickster by the name of Ellery Tossbottle. Let's do this. I'm ready to launch. Let's have fun.
Kiana from Encounter Roleplay.
Hey everyone, my name's Kiana, and I am so excited to be here. My heart is racing. I'm just so excited because it's space and D&D, everything cool. And I will be playing E404, your Warforged Barbarian, and well, all systems are online.
That's great. And Emma Lambert, everyone.
Hello, everybody. I am Emma Lambert. I am WebDM's communications director. You may have seen me before. Oh, and I am playing today Hildegarde, my best named character ever. She is a mountain dwarf forge cleric. Very happy to be here on my very first live stream ever.
Awesome. It's good to have it. It's good playing with you again, Emma. It's been far too long. And last but not least, we have Trey Murphy. How's it going, man?
Hey, what is up, everybody? I'm all the way excited. I got like the little nervous shakes a little bit because this is how we're supposed to get it in. I've already met all of my lovely compadres, and we are about to be Starward Bound. My character is a half-elf monk by the name of Daku, and hopefully Daku will bring some entertainment and a bit of humor to us. So, hey man, let's get started.
Yes, let's do that, shall we? So, a little setup there. First off is this cosmos, this vortex, is vast, and the elves and the dwarves were the first to master spell jamming. And it wasn't long until they encountered beholders and encroached on their domain. And there was an interspherical war. It was terrible. But in it, the elves rose the humans up into the cosmic landscape because of their prodigious birth rates and adaptability and learning new tasks and skills. So they won the war for them, basically, humans did. And after that, the humans wanted a place at the table and wanted a space and wanted to explore, and they did. And things were good for a while, and that was great, until the humans themselves stumbled upon beholders in their own way and triggered yet another interspherical war, and it was devastating. It wreaked havoc across the cosmos, destroying most of humanity's territory, delving into the dwarf and the elven territories as well. And it was only by sheer luck and tenacity that they held on and defeated them. But in the end, humanity was on the verge of extinction, and elves, in their divine judgment, decided that they would resettle humans on 4 planets and not allow them to travel the stars until they can relearn how to do this thing called spell jamming. So they had to relearn the technology on their own. And until then, they would be quarantined, shall we say. And that persisted for about 200 years until the New Horizons took flight on 1571. And humanity once again rejoined the cosmos. But that was another story. Here we are 50 years later. We are on Nero's 4. We are in Nero's Gates, which was one of the first cities that was established the refugees were first settled here. And it is the Nero's Gate pursuit. It is the celebration of all celebrations. People come from far and wide across Nero's Four, and they want to come and they want to see ships, and they want to see them flying. And this year especially is a year to remember, because for the first time, humans and elves have worked together to create a new vessel that they think could change the face of space travel itself. It is the Dawn Rose, and it is part of the reward for the winners of this year's Nero's Gate pursuit. You don't get the ship itself, but you do at least get to be on the crew and get to fly into the stars on its inaugural voyage. Because space travel it's hard to get to, and so people will try anything just for a chance to just get into space and see what all this is about. So we find ourselves in the locker room of the docks of Nero's Gates. Our heroes are part of a skiff crew. They've been together for a couple of months. They've had a few races together. Not a lot of experience. But you find yourselves in a 40 by 40 room. You know, the smell of dock worker is rampant. It's a particular tinge. This is meant. Nero's Gates is a mostly mining and manufacture port, but it is very important because of its proximity to the rest of the cosmos, and it being the home base of the first flight of humans. There is a lot of commerce through here, but not a lot of casual voyaging, and it's expensive. So everybody has a reason why they want to fly into the stars, but we find our team alone for right now. You can hear the crowd outside chanting. There's fervor in the air. You've already seen the harbor full of ships ready to watch the pursuit in its entirety. And so here we are. So if you could, what are y'all doing right now?
Ellery would look around at everybody else, take a long inhale, and say, "This doesn't look like a tavern." I always start these things in taverns. Huh.
Of course it's not the tavern. We just left the tavern the last night. I need you to be focused, Ellery. I can't do this without you.
I'm here. I'm drilled in. I'm ready to fight, ready to rock, ready to sail. You can count on me. You know me.
Hilda pulls out a hip flask and says, "Any place can be a tavern if you try hard enough."
My nerves are a little spent. Dakul, who loves to paint, will find any corner, any wall, anywhere, pull out some paints or chalk, and just start drawing what he's feeling. And he's drawing the crew.
Okay, so Dakul goes and finds a corner and finds a place where the graffiti of your average dwarven dock worker, hasn't already filled it in with, you can imagine. But yeah, you find a nice spot to paint the mural of the crew itself.
As Dakul would be drawing, if he would cast a glance over to kind of get like a profile or something, he would realize that Ellery has his foot up on one of the benches and is striking a pose for no apparent reason as he's...
Excellent. As always, you will make this quite memorable.
Yeah, E404 is currently just sitting at I assume a bench, and it's just kind of just seemingly staring off nothing, the red cracked glass of their eyes, just kind of looking at nothing, basically. It's hard to gauge any form of emotion on a robot. You think they're probably just waiting for things to happen.
And as if the universe was waiting for that segue, the door to the dressing room slams open, and in walks a human. He's about 6 feet tall. He's finely dressed, and he strides up. And you have seen this man before. He's a member of the Merchants Guild. He's one of your sponsors, and he looks around at this crew that has been assembled, and well, look at this crew here. What do you know? Not a damn human in sight. That's fine. I'm not going to say anything. It's not like I have any say in the Merchants Guild. But I'll tell you what. None of you really understand what's going on here today. Because I don't want to sound like an asshole, but you're not human, okay? I was just a boy. A boy. When I saw the New Horizons fly over Nero's Gate, I thought anything's possible. We can do it all. We're gonna get back in there. I'm gonna do the things that I heard about in all those stories from beyond to go. And well, it never quite happened. I went into textiles, but at least it looked nice. And you look nice too in your little fancy duds. But tell me, why are you here? I need to know that. What are you gonna do for the Merchants Guild? We helped build this ship. You understand that, right? The Merchants Guild helped build this damn thing. And I'll be damned if we don't help fly it. You know what I'm saying? Hildegard, you've been with us for more than a few years.
Absolutely.
Is your team ready? Do you think you can go out there? Do you hear the people out there? So there's just, you just hear just the crowd. And what do you think? What are you going to do for us?
I think I'm going to do what I've been doing all this time. Work hard for you, get this bucket of bolts off the ground. And I give it a swift kick, and get some rust off the damn thing. And I don't have much more to say to this guy. Get the impression perhaps she doesn't like him very much.
That's true. And well, we're a long shot, I gotta say. They haven't been together that long. The other 5 teams, they're seasoned veterans. They've been doing this forever. They've been practicing this course for, who knows, a year? Doesn't change. It's been 50 years. At least they could change it. But I don't give a damn what you do after today. But today, you want to try to get on that damn ship, and you're going to go out there and win. Because you're going to get on that floofy elven vessel, the Dawn Rose or whatever, and whatever wordplay they want to play with, just so they can put it into their flowery speeches and make it seem all, oh, humans and elves are together again. They're the ones that kept us down here, damn it. But I believe in you. Mostly because I have to, but for what it's worth, I believe in you. So why don't you just take a minute, but let's go ahead and head on out to the docks, and we'll see if we can get this thing won.
E44 stands up and says, I believe from my calculations that our chances of winning are currently around 60%, but perhaps when we get a better view of the ship, we will have a better chance.
Mr. Merchants Guild man, before you scurry off, I think it would be to our best advantage to have an idea of the competition that we will be facing. Who, out of the 5 that you have mentioned, should we be most concerned with?
Well, who shouldn't you be concerned with, DeCool? Who? I mean, you got the first Turnian League team. I mean, they're the best of the best from the FTL fleet itself. Okay? So, what are you going to do against seasoned sailors? I don't know. I hope you got something. Then you got the Magate Acadium, the mages themselves, the people who build these damn things. They know them inside and out. They're the other people that help build this damn ship. You don't think they want to be on it? They're a bunch of humans. This is the whole ballpark for them. This is the whole thing. And then I'd maybe be worried about them, the captain's team. Again, seasoned sailors. These people sail every day of their life. Do you sail every day of your life, Dakul?
I would not say every day.
Well, you're sailing today, and I hope you do a damn good job. I really do. But those are the three I'd really worry about. You know, Forrester's Hollow, the gnomes. They're all right. Lockport, what do they know? It's a lake. But yeah, I believe in you, though. You, well, because I have to.
I believe we'll get the job done. If catching the wind is as easy as catching Ellery, I believe we'll be all right.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and head out, but you break a leg out there.
Thank you, sir. Always good for the motivational speeches.
Well, I hope so. All right, so he leaves the door, and leaves the door open, and walks down a hallway, and the sound from the crowd is much louder now, and you can hear it droning down through the tunnels, and you hear some activity from what you would assume are other locker rooms, possibly the other teams preparing themselves, and so there you are.
Okay. All right,
I feel like we need to bring attention to the fact that we are a very strange group. In all ways, we are a really weird group as we walk out into the scene. That's what E44 stands at about 6'5".
Mm-hmm. So yeah.
And then we have the dwarf and the halfling and the half elf.
It's a pretty great crew you got. So y'all go ahead and begin to head out into the harbor itself. As you leave the room, you walk down the tunnel, and you indeed see other doors opening up, other teams filtering out in the distance. You think you can make out the silhouettes of maybe a dwarf and an elf and some humans, and there's banter going on between them. And Dakul, as you exit, you hear a familiar voice. You haven't heard in a little while, but since your days with the gnomes up at Forrester's Hollow, but a familiar voice, name of Bobo Lodel, and he chimes in. He's like, "Hey, Dakul, why don't you come over here? I want to talk to you before the race."
I know that voice.
Yeah, of course you know this voice.
Yes. What must we speak about? Yes.
Well, it's been a while, and just finding out that you're in this race too. Just saying.
Well, I'm happy for the support. Yes, every little bit helps. So what can I win for you? What can I bring for you? How can I make your day better?
Well, I thought I was going to have to bring it up, but since you just brought it up, here's the thing. And he kind of like moves a little bit further away from everybody so that, no one else can overhear. It's like, see, here's the thing. The gnomes, we had a bad run of it earlier today. We had a whole thing up at the at Flavortown at the food cart. Some crazy shit went on. There was a gibbering mouther. I don't know. It was some crazy stuff. But gnomes, we got a bad rap today, and we really need a win. So, what you can do to help out? See if you can maybe just help your brother out here. Maybe you could help us out. Not saying you got to throw the race. Just don't do your best. I could make it worth your while too.
I hear what you're saying. I have to think about this for a minute. You know me. I try to do the honorable thing at all times, but sometimes things can happen. In the meantime, can I just say I will try and see what happens.
Yeah, because like I said, I could make it worth your while.
Oh, how?
I've heard some things.
What have you heard?
Well, we do business with the monastery where you learned how to do your mojo.
My mojo, he says.
Yeah, and just saying, I might have uncovered a bit of info that you've been looking for.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't know.
Huh.
I hear things. Sometimes I hear things, and I could maybe bring it to you. So I'm just saying. I mean, we obviously got a race out here, but you help us out.
Well, this is what I shall say. Just wait and see what happens. But your information has certainly have my interest piqued.
That's good. That's good, because we got to look out for each other. We go back before this race and everything, and we.
Yes, we do go back to the spiders. Yes. Okay.
Oh.
But,
I remember when you freaked out the first time you went in to go harvest those bastards.
You funny nose. You think you have all the jokes.
Oh, no. You're a good enough one yourself. Oh, I'm just ribbing you.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to leave now.
All right. We'll see you on the course, man. We'll see you on the course.
Oh, be well, my friend.
Yeah, you too. And as you're heading back out, you begin to step out into the harbor proper.
Okay.
And this is where you're on the west side of Nero's gates, and you look out the four tiers of the city itself, going up to the very top of the cliffside, and there are people lining the tops of every wall. There's confetti. It's mostly just like red petals. Obviously, the Dawn Rose being the crown piece here in this festivities. There's a theme, and you hear a speech being given from the pedestrian walkway spanning between the two sides of the city, and in the harbor there are just ships. You just see sails like into the distance as you can see, like all these ships that come in, and they've begun actually filtering like through the harbor and moving further inland because they want to move underneath where the race course will actually take place. And you can see, like, as the ships have started to move through, but they just keep going, and there's just chanting and screaming, and there's people like waving the colors of each team. The blue and white of the FTL fleet is in prominent display. It's only been about 20 years since it was established, and humanity really wants to do its part to help the cosmic effort. Of course, the green and brown of Forrester's Hollow, where the gnomes harvest silk from spiders. That the majority of the ropes and sails are made from the fabric of that here in Nero's Gates. There's the Magate Acadium in their red and black. The Mages College here, as they move to their skiffs. The captain's team, which is in gold and blue and just very pompous, of course. And then Lockport, which is just like plain brown. Like they have one color. It's brown. They just found it. And so everybody's kind of moving there, and there's quite a fervor. And in the noise, Emma, you feel kind of a tap at your shoulder. And you turn around to see kind of a he's a dwarf, right? But he looks like a dwarf that really hasn't seen a hard day of labor in his life. And you recognize him pretty quickly from a certain mining expedition that you went on not too long ago. And he comes up and it's like, hey, Hildy, how's it going? It's been a while.
Has been. How are you? Looks like you're working.
Yeah.
Hard.
Yeah, you remember me, Burke? Yeah, I'm here. I'm still with the mining company. I really appreciate really appreciate the work you put in that expedition. It really helped out. And you see him kind of this whole time glancing over at E404.
Yes. I moved to position my body slightly in between him and E404. Say, it was my pleasure. It will be something I remember for the rest of my life. What can I do for you, Burke?
Well, I mean, I don't want to this is a bad time to bring this up, right?
Yeah,
but
whatever it is, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want to hold you up. You got a whole race you got to get to. But, the company is going to push forward in trying to acquire, and he kind of like leers and kind of nods at E404. It's like, I mean, it was in our minds. I know it was your find, and it was your idea to go to that particular shaft, but it was in our minds. And think of the things we could do if we had a whole fleet of these things. How we could mine, worker safety. I mean, we could advance our companies, and we'd bring you in on it.
Well, yes, Burke. I've actually spent a great deal of my time thinking about the things you could do. And I'm going to go win this race. And I think it's going to work out.
Oh, you've trying to want to get off planet, are you?
Maybe. But like you said, it was my find. If you would like to talk to E404, see what E404 wants to do, that is fine. But I am so sick and tired of your dwarven approach to machinery. There's so much more in the world than that.
Well, I mean, we both know they're tools. I mean, they're just tools, right?
You're a tool, for sure.
Oh.
There are other people who are more than you, Burke.
Okay, I don't want to put you off at the beginning of this race. I know you got to focus. So I'll leave you. I mean, I'm trying to help you out. I want to get you in on the action up front. So,
Burke, I'm 275 years old.
Oh, 275? You don't look a day over 250.
Burke, shut the fuck up. Really. I've seen people like you come and go. You're never going to do anything interesting with your life. E404 might. And that's what I'm doing.
Okay, so I'll take your word. I'll take your word to my hires up. Sorry, I didn't mean to rouse you. My bad.
Have a good day. Enjoy the race.
And he kind of saunters off into the crowd, giving one last look over his shoulder at E404, and just shaking his head as he walks. Kind of just disappears back up into the first tier. Looking around. You can see the competitors beginning to take their place. In the FTL on the FTL boat, it looks like there's 3 elves and 1 human, and looks like the elves are pretty much just ordering the human around. Forester's Hollow, they're doing their thing. A couple of gnomes, a couple of humans. On the captain's team, you see one of their team members. She like hops in the harbor and splashes around for a bit and then hops back out and slings some water off, and she's quite attractive, and her teammates are just like every time and everybody's taking their places. So what do y'all do?
As they're approaching, going down the dock, with E404's permission, Ellery would scamper up and kind of sit cross-legged, hanging off of her, piggyback style. And as they're walking down, he would just kind of have his elbows on the top of E404's head. And every once in a while, seeing the captain, the captain's team, someone jumps in the water and looks around. He leans down and whispers to E404, and he says, "What do you see when you look at all this? Do you see the same things that we do?"
E404, yeah. E404 is used to having Ellery just kind of onto them, and E404 said, "If you are talking about visual input, then I do believe I see the same things as you."
what's the first thing you see? Just first thing pops into your this, and he kind of holds onto its head. What's the first thing? First.
E44 just kind of pauses for a moment. I see crews getting prepared for races. I do not know what you are asking specifically.
Yes. Wanted to see if you saw anything different. You know what I see? And he kind of puts his hands back like this. Do you know what I see?
What?
Losers. Everywhere. Losers. The one swimming, loser. You know, all the gnomes over there talking about stuff, losers. All of them, losers. You want to know why?
We haven't even done the race yet. How would you know?
It's a halfling thing. It's a halfling thing. We're lucky, and I can tell when other people are losers. We have a her, and he points to Hilda. He goes, we have a him, and he points to Dakul, and he then does a pat on the top of E404's head, and we have you. They're losers.
Well, if you say so, then I believe you, Ellery.
I like the sound of that. Just believing.
We can never stop. So, assuming that y'all move to the Merchants Guild racing skiff, begin to take your places. Describe where you head to with regards to the spell jamming helm, which is at the back of the skiff. The skiff itself is about 30 feet long, maybe 15 feet wide, flat bottom. It only has like a mainsail and a jib. It's built for speed. I mean, the race itself is a bit of an endurance test. I mean, it takes place over about 5 or 6 hours. It spans a lot of distance, but these things can cover a lot of distance very quickly. And so it's so anyway, describe how you board the ship.
Hilda goes to the very back of the ship and does some very uncool looking exercises, grumbles something about no lumbar support, these damn things, and gets right in the pilot's seat.
I want to. Is the skiff like slightly above everybody else that's watching the race? Is it a good view of everybody that's paying attention to us or that's ready to watch the race?
Oh, you're basically at the floor of the Coliseum. I mean, when you look up and see just
Looking up.
years of the buildings and the people above and people across the arches of Nero's gates and all the ships around you, y'all are the center of attention right now.
Can I scan the crowd and look for Bobolodal?
You don't have to scan the crowd. Bobolodal is in the ship right next to you in the helm.
So,
And kind of you look over and he's like, "Hey, how's it going, Dakul?"
well, I'll wave back and I want to walk towards Ellery. I'm assuming Ellery's right next to me or close to it.
He's always right next to you.
Always next to me.
If he's not on E404, he's always right next to you. The dwarf scares him, so he's always goes back and forth between the two of you.
Ellery, you're a man of the world. Excuse me, a halfling of the world.
Thank you.
Do you remember Bobolodal?
I remember you saying that he was, well, what was the language you used? He was sort of a...
Yeah, sort of a misfits, if you will, a bit.
Like an odd duck, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But he offered me something that I must muse upon. Him and his gnomish friends are desperate to win, and they would show me great favor in finding out a truth that I've been looking for a very long time, but for a cost that I'm not willing to produce. He wants us to lose the race.
He wants us to throw it?
Yes, that is the word I am looking for. He wants us to throw the race. I am only speaking directly to you because I want to know how you feel about this.
My knee jerk is I hate to lose. My second knee jerk is I'd really hate to lose to a gnome. But I mean, I'll do whatever you want, the cool, but what about Hilda and E404? I mean,
I
our
have no
friend.
I have no plans on losing the race. We shall remain victorious. I just want you to keep a careful eye upon him and his group and look for any opportunity that might present itself.
Oh, I can do that. This thing that you need, is it something that could be taken?
I don't know if it can be taken, but better to be explained. I've been walking around in this fog, and I need some type of guidance.
Well, maybe there's a way to get it from him and still win.
Exactly, my halfling friend. We are on the same page.
Good, because I'm not sure what book we're reading, but I'm here to help you, Nicole. So let's do it.
Excellent. Let's keep this to ourselves for the time being until the moment presents itself.
Will do. At that point, for the remainder of the prep time, Ellery is going to be climbing up the main and attaching lengths of weighted with like large kind of half cannonball bearings on the end of these long, like 50-foot silk ropes, and he's arranging them throughout the ship within easy grabbing distance.
Alrighty. Is anyone else doing anything special to prepare?
Is there a way that with my half elf vision that I can see any type of tactical advantage within the course? Can I scan what I think the course is going to be?
Well, the course is spread out over a couple of 100 miles.
Okay.
So you're going to be going into the bay, turning east, swinging around through the lakeside rise mountains, and then you swing back southwest and loop around the Iron Woods, and then come back through Nero's gates. And so the course itself is, like I said, spread out over the first part of this inlet sea, and you see the ships all kind of sailing through the gates and into the little bay area. Just so, because like I said, it's like a race that you get to sit under if you watch it, if you want to watch it. But I mean, you have studied this course. Actually, just so you know, Trey, with your elf eyes right now, it is high noon, so you do have light sensitivity. So you have disadvantage on any of those perception checks in direct sunlight. So that's something to keep in mind. But that is what your elf eyes see.
A migraine.
A migraine. Yeah, it's pretty much migraine and splitting headaches. So as you y'all finish mounting your skiff, and Hilda, you sit down in the helm itself, which is just it's a simple chair. It has a few crystals right at the palm. There's a small headband that you with practiced ease, you've done this many times. You slide it into place and adjust it so it fits just so right. And
There's
then
a loop in my braids for it and everything.
Yeah, it ain't coming off for nothing. But now you can feel like almost like a light thrum of activity from the ship just from being sat down. And so what do you invest spell wise to activate your skiff?
Well, this one's for all the marbles. I'm going to invest a second level spell.
Okay. So as you close your eyes and focus your internal energies that flow from the forges of creation itself and the muse of production, you feel that energy flow out from you through your hands and your headband, and you feel your focus kind of warp a bit and expand. And when you open your eyes, you no longer see in front of you the ship, where you'll see like Ellery getting his rope and little weighted balls together. And in front of that, E404 at the mainsail, making sure that it's loose, ready to go. And up in front of that, you have Dakul getting the jib ready, letting out some slack. And that's what you saw when you closed your eyes. When you open, you get, at first it's disorienting. It's almost like a fisheye view as you have become the ship. It is you. You are it. You are one and the same. You can feel, now you feel Dakul pulling the rope, and you feel a tug at your shoulder, and you feel Ellery walking along your back almost. As everything about this, you can feel the water lapping up against your sides. And as the energy of your spell suffuses the vessel itself, you can feel vibration, and you lift up ever so slightly off the water into a very low hover, about 2 feet off the water. And it's about that time that you hear from the walkway between underneath the arch of Nero's gates. You hear, in a booming, obviously magically enhanced voice, "Racers, places please. The Nero's Gate pursuit is about to commence." And there's just a roar from the crowd as all the ships begin to move up and line up according to your placements, which y'all are 5th, so you're basically back row on the left. But all the ships come up. You have the Elven ship with its green, almost leaf-like sails coming off. You see the Magate Acadium ship is a finer make, and actually it looks like it has maybe a window through the bottom of it, so they can see down underneath them. Again, your ship is a 2-sail ship, and everybody gets into place. Your attention. And if I may present the ambassador to the first Turnian League for Nero's 4, Zofia Sill. And everyone around Nero's Gate knows this elf by name, if not by sight. She's been integral to the reintegration of humanity into the cosmos at large. She was not a fan of the keeping humans out of the picture for so long. And she walks up, and she's holding a single large red rose in her hand, and she speaks out over the crowd as she raises a hand, and everybody kind of hushes to. "Everyone, this is an auspicious day, so without any further ado, when this rose touches the water of Nero's Gates, Hava, the race shall commence. I wish you good fortune and good speed, and may you all return today so we can see who shall take the Dawn Rose into the cosmos." And you see her toss the rose out, and it's falling, and you can feel the anticipation build. And as it splashes down in the water, all the ships start lurching forward. And now we will begin our skill challenge of the Nero's Gate pursuit. So, Ellery, who are you going to be assisting first?
Okay, so as Ellery grabs one of the weighted silken ropes that he has dangling around, he begins to swing around and over the edge of the boat as he's riding like some type of pirate / Tarzan. And as he's spinning around, he's yelling back to the crew, "Where do you need me?" And he's as he comes around the outside. I'm assuming that this is maneuverability right here, as we're all kind of congested.
Yeah, you're all, everybody's pretty. There's a glut of ships here, so you have 3 ships adjacent to you. So that's, you want to try to move forward. Yeah, maneuverability is going to be key.
He's on his way towards Dakul, but if you guys want to call him off somewhere else, he can swing to another line.
Okay, so Emma, let's go ahead and get you a piloting check. Dakul, you're making your maneuverability check with advantage as you're getting the help action from Ellery, and Kiana, you're on the mainsail, assisting with the general speed of the vessel.
All right.
So
Oh, that is a 19 for me.
okay, so The DC was 12, so you get a +1 there. So we'll remember that.
It's an 11 for me.
Okay, and that was with advantage, yes?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so you do not get the maneuverability, but Emma, what was your piloting roll?
23.
23. Okay, so that is a +3, so y'all have a +4 speed. So the way this skill challenge is going to work, everyone out in Chatland, is every time we have a check, that is adding to the speed of the vessel. And whoever has the most speed at the end finishes the race first. So right now, y'all are starting with a speed of 5, maneuverability of 0. So based on those rolls... Okay, so y'all managed to, as you lurch forward and out of Nero's Gate to a roar of the crowd, the elven vessel, who was already in the front, just takes off. Next to them, Forester's Hollow. You know, they get going, but they are gnomes, so it takes them a while sometimes. And so you manage to bump the captain's vessel for the actual Nero's Gate Captain's Council out of the way. So it's actually right now, y'all are in 3rd place as you launch out into the harbor. You are behind the elven vessel by 3 boat lengths. Just so you know, they have about a 3 boat length lead. Right behind them is the Gait Acadium vessel. There is no one adjacent to y'all currently. There is all the other 3 teams rolled fairly shittily. So you managed to kind of bump past the captain's team. Forester's Hollow just couldn't get their shit together. The Gait Acadium launched over them and is giving chase to the elven vessel. And so we, as you burst out, you're flying like over all these ships that are flooding out into the harbor in general, because hey, this is what you do. You go out, you float in the harbor, and you watch a race all day take place over your head, and you come back into Nero's Gate and get drunk all night. And so you launch forward, and you're traveling at about, this is a good 80 miles an hour, you'd say. In our terms. So it's faster than any of you ever traveled, even by if you've flown in a regular airship, which you probably haven't, because again, that's kind of hard. So that's why a lot of people love air skiffing, because you just get that rush. And as you approach the second leg of the trip, this is part of the course is where you will have a steep rise in elevation, which is actually meant to kind of call back to the original first flight of just taking off and taking towards the skies. But it's also to clear the cliffside and then up and to get up even with the mountains that you're kind of heading towards as you head east out into the harbor. So again, you are 3 boat lengths behind the elven vessel, with the Gait Acadium directly behind them, and there's 3 vessels behind you. And so as you begin to rise, we're going to have the second roll for the skill challenge. It's a little bit harder because you are gaining elevation, so maintaining your speed is kind of difficult. And you would know this. So it's a little harder to maintain speed, but again, there's no vessels around you. So, Ellery, who are you gonna assist with here?
Well, during this entire process, as the boats have kind of been jockeying for position and then kind of falling in line and drafting and things of that nature, the entire time, Ellery has kept swinging all around the masts and switching off to the jib mast as he swings around on his collection of ropes that he has set up. And as he's swinging around, he turns back and looks with his top knot kind of blowing as he sees the 3 behind them. And he points back and looks down at E404 and he goes, "See, 3 losers already. And as he swings around, he realizes that power is going to be necessary here. So he's heading towards E404, or if they call him off, he's going to the helm to help Hilda. So whichever you guys think.
Yeah, E404 will take the help.
Okay, so he
sure.
swings down and kind of wraps around and helps with the mainsail.
Okay, yeah, y'all pull the mainsail to grab as much wind as possible. So E404, you'll get to make this athletics check with advantage. And so this is going to be a little bit higher DC for your athletics check. DeCool, there's nobody around you, and you're not turning really. You're doing a slight turn up. So your maneuverability check is going to be pretty low. But everybody go ahead and give me your rolls.
All right, how does a 23 sound?
23 sounds pretty good.
Ooh, I'm a 5. Goodness.
Pruitt?
Yeah.
I rolled a natural 1.
You rolled a natural 1. Okay. So what is that?
So we win right now.
So you win right now. Okay. So you rolled a natural 1, but what is that? What does your roll give you?
7.
It gives you a 7. Okay. Now you're, but you invested a second level slot, so that's a +2.
Yeah, it was +4 to begin with.
Oh, okay. I thought you were at +5. Sorry. Okay. Well, you rolled. So you got a 7. Okay. So you failed that. But the problem is you don't. You kind of stutter and stall as you begin to try to climb and gain altitude.
So
interesting.
And
it turns out
having some trouble.
You're having some trouble, but also the two teams in front of you, the mages and the FTL ship, they appear to be having similar trouble. So you don't lose any ground on them, but you do hit a pocket of turbulence.
Turbulence.
So can I get? Sorry, that was great. Y'all pulled that off excellently. So can I get a dexterity saving throw from everyone except for Hilda, because she is basically strapped down into a chair. As y'all kind of rise and a crosswind hits your ship and DeCool isn't able to offset it, and it throws y'all. The ship jolts just for a bit.
16.
16?
13.
13?
Yeah, 20.
20? Okay, you're good. So turns out E404, you're the only one that you basically just kind of get knocked over. You kind of hit the ground, you just shake yourself. I mean, you are you do have a harness, so you're kind of strapped to the main sail, so you can't like fall off. But you are knocked prone. So you will need to go ahead and right yourself before you can make another action. And so as it stands, though, y'all are still 3 boat lengths behind the elves, 2 behind the mages, but now the team from Forrester's Hollow has slipped past you and is now in 3rd place, and the captain's team has slipped adjacent to you, and the team from Lockport, the Browns, are right behind you and dead last, where they usually are. And you rise up to meet the mountains and level off, and you're heading towards Lakeside Rise. And this is kind of a more dangerous part of the course, as you have to kind of jockey in between a few mountains, make a pass through some ridges, and so this is generally the time. And also, from just racing that there's not as many eyes here in the mountains as there is over the water, and so there are many stories of some shady shit going on here. So as you begin banking through the mountains, let me know what do you plan on doing here, as you have ships on 3 sides of you, and it's going to be banking and maneuvering pretty harshly.
How close are the other ships to the mountains? Is it close enough that the running into the mountains could be a problem, or are we all kind of far enough away that it's just more scenic than anything else?
I mean, y'all, there are times where you're clipping pretty closely, but you know, the ships themselves are within 10, 15, 20 feet, depending as you just kind of hover through. But it's one of those things, just like birds, like you want to fly close because you want to ride the wake of ships next to you. It allows you to fly faster, just like drafting and racing. So, teams tend to try to bunch up and stay close, especially here where, you're going to be sacrificing some speed for banking and things of that sort.
Well, with my cigarette in mouth, because I have yet to extinguish it, I'm going to look over to Ellery and say, I believe I could use some of your help with some of this navigation through some of this treacherous area. Please.
He jumps up and grabs hold of the swing, and he's on his way. Come in!
Is that my only action to ask for help, or can I have an action to go along with it?
Oh no, you still have your action. Talking is a free action. You all just do. Yeah, I mean, again, this is spread out over. We're just making a check for this general area, but this is spread out over.
Okay, so the elves are like 3 boat lengths ahead of us, so that's about 60 feet in front of us, and we're behind them. So I want to take my bow out, especially if we're coming across an area where you can't really see us, and aim for their rudder. I would like to hit it if we're directly behind them. Are we directly behind them?
I mean, yeah. I mean, in a sense, you're all traveling through the same course. I mean, there are boundaries to the course itself, but yes, you're pretty much directly behind them for the most part.
All right. Well, I definitely want to. I want to shoot at the rudder in a way that if I am successful, hopefully it can steer them a little bit closer to the rocks. Maybe not crash. I don't know. May the gods bless my bow and my arrow.
So you want to call Ellery over to handle maneuverability while you're doing that? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So go ahead and roll that attack.
Right. And it's only 60 feet, so with the longbow, it should be without disadvantage. 15 plus, plus the 2. Plus the 6. Oh, that's 21.
21 to hit? Okay. Yeah. You, so as Ellery swings around and grabs the jib, like right as Dakul lets it go, not even looking, trusting his friend that, that he's going to be there to take the slack, he fluidly just pulls the bow out from his, with your left hand, bow arrow with your right, and just fire it off, putting it away almost in one fluid motion. Yes. And your arrow flies in and hits their rudder immediately, and it is the effect is instantaneous as they lurch to the side. And if everyone else could give me your rolls, so that we can reconcile this third part of the skill check.
Can I do my thing, or did I have to spend an action to get up?
Oh no, yeah, you can do your do your speed roll. Yes.
Okay, I'm glad.
And Pruitt, for Ellery, this is acrobatics for the control, or dex, or what is this for the jib?
For the jib, I mean, I would let you use acrobatics. I mean, you're a sailor, so you're all jumping. You're actually jumping and like using your weight on things, and so yeah, you can do acrobatics.
24.
Excellent.
I got a 22.
You got a 22 speed. Okay.
I was wondering if I could do a spell jamming maneuver, Pruitt.
You want to do a spell jamming maneuver, Emma?
I want to do a maneuver, Pruitt.
Okay. Well, let's. What maneuver are you doing?
I want to close in on the leaders. So as you are hitting them, we're going to zoom a little bit.
Okay. And as you're doing that, the team next to you, the captain's team, you see their rover pull out like a sack, and he lofts it and hits Yep. He hits the deck right in front of you, and just flour plumes out and hits you right in the face. Just now you have just flour like in your face. So
In my face.
DM, I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna make your life interesting here for a second.
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
Now, go ahead and tell me what you think about this. I have feather fall as a reaction, and if they threw something at us, I would like to have Ellery cast feather fall on it so it'll stop its momentum and kind of suck it back behind us.
I'll allow it. So, yeah, you see the rover he's sitting there, he's looking, everyone else is they're doing their thing. He sees DeCool shooting the bow. Nobody's protecting the captain, and he tosses the bag out, and Ellery, you don't know what the hell's in that, but you just throw a spell out there, and it just kind of slows down and just gets caught. Now that it has no momentum from the ship, it just disappears. And the rover, which is this, it's the woman actually who jumped in the harbor, and she's sitting there, hair's not glistening anymore. It's kind of ratty and whatever. She's red haired. She's very, very attractive woman. She kind of looks at Ellery and just kind of gives you like the biggest, like, oh, you naughty boy. Oh.
And what they would see is Ellery wears rings all over each of his fingers. And as soon as he sees that coming through the air, he takes his thumb on his right hand and spins the ring finger around. And the rings are big enough where the bands open once twisted, and a little feather comes out. And when he grabs it, he has his spell component and casts the feather fall. And as soon as she looks and gives him that knowing or that distasteful look for having thwarted her fun, he gives her a wink and looks back and said, "Shouldn't have wasted all that time swimming!" And he swings back around and gets on his way.
Yeah, Hilda laughs and laughs and laughs, and she might flip off a little dwarven bird. And we're gonna zoom right out of there, yes?
Okay, and so what was your, give me your roll.
Oh, okay, let's see how we do. Don't let me down. I got that's not bad, 16 plus 6, 22.
22?
Yeah.
Okay, so you get plus 2. All right, so yeah. So the captain's team doesn't look so hot as their rover like fucks up with her duties, and you kind of just like give them a little chin music basically, and they don't react too well to it at all and kind of swerve out of the way, and you're able to kind of basically take their spot from them and zoom up past Forrester's Hollow and Bobo Lodal, and he looks over at y'all's crew as you're winding through these mountains, and you're able to bump up not only past him, because Kiana, you got a 22, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay, yeah, you're able to actually bump up in front of the Magate Acadium team. Now, the elves managed to navigate. Oh wait, no, you hit them. Sorry, I did not roll theirs with disadvantage. Okay, no. So you managed to move up right behind the elves as they are able to maintain their speed, but they aren't able to pull away from y'all. So as you're winding through the mountains and begin heading back southwest, it's a fairly tight race. Now with the elves, the party, the mages right behind them, Forrester's Hollow, the Captain's Council lost one, and now Lockport, the Mighty Loggers, they're actually moved up into 5th, so they're making a showing for themselves. So you round through the mountains, heading back over the water, and it's one of those things where when you come out of the mountains, everyone down in the bay, there's a roar as the ships peek over the cliffs and begin to descend back down to closer to water level, sea level, water level. And so you're moving, you're jockeying for position, and so when you do descend here, though, you have to do it at a very steep angle because of the way the course is laid out. And this is one of those where you come off of a cliff and there's a marker, basically like a string of balloons almost between two ships that you're supposed to go under, right? And so this is one of those spots that usually claims ships because they're not able to pull out in time as you descend down towards the sea level. So making this roll, you have a lot of speed on your side, but you got to make a pretty hard turn and then level off and continue across the bay. So how would y'all like to proceed as you see well, how would you like to proceed?
Well, I do know we will need some maneuverability in order to get around these rocks and these falls. Ellery, if you have the time, with all of your swinging, please come help me yet again.
All right. As he kind of goes by once. Pruitt, behind us, as everybody is kind of the Acadium, the Foresters Hollow, the loggers, they're all kind of bunched up, right, at this point as they're coming.
Yeah, pretty much. Y'all are literally in a line of ships, like all heading down together. There's not really any space in between each ship. It's a pretty tight field. This is actually one of the tighter races of the Nero's Gate pursuit.
Okay, so at this point, I have two things I can do. I can try to mess up the people behind us, or I can help with the maneuverability. What would you guys like to do?
I think maneuverability.
I think so, because if we don't make that maneuver, we're a little screwed.
Okay.
I think if we get position first, we can worry about everything else second.
Fine. He swings down and helps with maneuverability.
Okay. So you swing down, you help with maneuverability. You're quickly approaching the waters, and it's about this time you see one of the elves look back, as it looks at DeCool and gives you like a kind of a sneering look as he orders the human, which the human on their vessel, it looks like he's the rover, and the guy on the jib, he basically calls him over. It's like, he says it in Elven, but and as the human takes the rope for the sail, you see him flick out. You see a glint of metal as he like flicks his hand back towards your ship. It looks like he flicked maybe a dagger to try to cut your line. Do you have any kind of reaction that you would like?
Yes, I have an auto reaction, which is deflect missiles.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
So it reduces damage, and if it strikes successful, I can in turn throw it right back at him.
Okay.
But before I do that, I want to look over at my gnomish friends for I feel a magnificent moment approaching. And I want to look at Baboloro and give him a subtle wink, a knowing nod.
Okay. Yeah, he's back there like yelling at his crew, and he kind of like looks up and sees you looking at him like, huh? And so the dagger comes racing in. So go ahead and give me your roll to reduce the damage for it.
7 plus the dexterity is 4, so it's 11. Oh, plus my proficiency bonus, so it's 13.
Yeah. So yeah, like he kind of like looks back, and you see him. He's just gonna like try to cut one of the line for the jib to throw you off right here, right before you have to level off. Maybe you go crashing right into the water, and you just like you don't even look. You're sitting there leaning back, and as it comes arcing in, you're just like, and you just catch it right on the hilt.
All right. I want to redirect the dagger. Which ship is closest to Boboloro that might be giving them the most problems?
Right now, let's see. Right now, Bobolodal is 2 ship lengths behind you. So right in front of them is the Magate Acadium ship.
Okay. I would like to aim the dagger for the mast where the rope is, if it's possible, and the gods are loving, to hit that particular rope with the mast.
On which ship? The Mages or the Forester's Hollow?
Not the Forester's Hollow. I want to help the Forester's Hollow.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay, so the people right behind you, the Magate Acadium.
Exactly, the Magate Acadium. After my knowing wink.
Okay. So go ahead and give me an attack roll on that.
8 plus the 6 equals to 14.
14?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you flick your dagger back, and it hits the rope, but it doesn't like cut the rope. It kind of like bounces off of it, and careens back behind, and actually kind of like goes right by Bobo Lodal's head, and he's like, "Huh?" But it was a valiant effort.
Okay.
So now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and get your rolls for the fourth part of the skill challenge, as we are halfway through the Nero's Gate pursuit with a tight field. So Trey, you're rolling with advantage, correct?
Yes.
I got a 19.
I got a 25.
Holy crap.
No, excuse me. No, that is wrong. I'm correct. I got a 20. My strength is only a +1. Please.
Okay.
I hit a 20.
That's okay.
And Hilda got an 18.
Hilda got an 18. Okay. So y'all had plenty of speed, so Kiana's DC was actually 8. So you get a +2 speed. You're at a +3 maneuverability. Okay, so as you approach sea level, your ships like level off, and the elves don't quite get it just right, and you see the tail, the rudder of their ship actually like hit the water, and you're able to basically like hop right over them, and you come right through the turn, and you're like Emma, Hilda, you feel like you are like inches off the water. And you perfectly like made that turn, and you have jumped into the lead, going into this turn to that stretches across the harbor and towards the Ironwoods. The Magate Acadium has moved up beside the Elven ship, and Bobo Lodal remains right on the tail of both of those ships. And the other two ships have fallen back. Actually, hang on. I actually forgot to roll for... Yep. Okay, so Lockport. The fighting loggers. Well, they didn't do so hot there. And their ship actually like hits flush on the keel in the water. You don't know if they're out, but they hit pretty hard as y'all zoom across the harbor, and you don't see them immediately rejoin the field, anyone looking back. And Hilda, if you turn your focus behind you, and you see everyone jockeying for position behind you, there's only 4 ships now behind you. And so that's, yeah. So we are now zooming across the harbor, and we're coming up on the land mass there, which is it's a broken cliffside. Trying to describe it. Imagine Avatar: The Last Airbender, the season finale, where Aang and them fight with all the pillars and everything. It looks exactly like that, except a little bit more spaced out. And this is again part of the Nero's Gate pursuit is kind of a walk down history, and this is to remember the last orc incursion around the Ironwoods and the lengths that they had to go to break the siege, because this all used to be whole land. And after about a 4-month siege, dwarves mined underneath the orc encampment and were able to locate a few natural gas pockets and detonate them. And the explosion was seen miles away. It shattered every window in Nero's Gate. But it reduced this section of the land to like rubble and pillars. And so this part of the race is actually the most treacherous, as there is a very specific path between these pillars that you must go. And actually nearby, Hilda, is actually pretty close by to this location is where the mining expedition happened, where you discovered E404. So you're not actually far from where it was discovered. Sorry, don't mean to label pronouns. And so as you move up towards this natural, or not a natural structure, but this structure, we're going to need our fifth check of the race, and it's very treacherous. You're accelerating and rising up to once again peak up on top of and around the ironwoods for the final turn, the final bend to the race. So speed and maneuverability are equal in necessity here. And you can see behind you the head of the FTL. It's a female elf with just the most pissed off look on her face, that she's staring at the back of another ship. You can tell she is not used to seeing this. I mean, they were the heavy favorites going into this race. So she's barking orders in Elvish, and mostly barking them. Wait, does anybody speak Elvish here?
I do.
Actually, funny enough, E404 does.
Actually, no, I don't. Actually, no, I don't.
That's what I was about to say.
That does.
No, I do not.
Somewhere in the programming, they learned Elvish.
Right. Yeah, you hear her, and she's mostly yelling at their human teammate. You know, she doesn't seem like a very nice person. So, what? How would y'all like to attack this part of the course?
Oh, this is hard.
How far are we from the finish line?
You know that you have to work your way up through this around the ironwoods, and then once you come out of that turn, it is a straight shot to Nero's gates, where now as you're coming up here and look back, you can see a lot of ships starting to move towards Nero's gates as everybody's starting to sail back in because they want to see the finale. As the sun has kind of moved across the sky and we're moving closer to evening. It's actually a little bit easier for you to see now, Dakul, because of the waning sunlight. But there's still they basically want it designed so that hopefully the competitors are flying through right at sunset, and it's very, very poetic and very epic. These designers have gone through a lot, and so.
Okay.
How far away is the Elven ship?
They are right on your tail. Like there's y'all have been able to maintain your lead, and every time they try to jockey for position, you're able to just kind of flow right in front of them, and because they don't want to get too far out, because then they would lose their drafting advantage, and so
I might have a trick up my sleeve for them.
Yeah, E404 said, the ship behind us is not happy with us. However, I think I am okay here. If you think that maybe maneuverability would be more beneficial.
Ellery he's swinging around, almost licking his lips at the idea of messing with the elves behind them, but he's waiting for Hilda to give him the final say before he heads over towards Dakul.
Hilda's gonna say, let's scare him, boys.
Yes, I am all about the fear tactics. How can I help?
Yes, well, I think we're gonna buzz them. We're going to, so I have a maneuver I can do called a Spelljammer Buzz.
Okay.
And the way I envision it happening here is that we essentially fake them out, make them think they're screwed, and the function of the spell, if it succeeds, the target creature or pilot must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or become frightened by your vehicle for 1d4 rounds. So if they're drafting us and they're scared, those seem mutually exclusive to me. So that's what I think we should try to do.
Okay. So so that's what you're doing. Okay. Ellery, are you gonna assist? Or are you gonna try to hinder them also?
I would like to assist and build off of that, and I want to use the narrative of the buzzing. Is there any way that there's two things that Ellery could do? Could he swing over and throw a spell into the helm as well to kind of assist with the burst? Or could he kind of in conjunction, not a separate action, just kind of adding to the fear effect? He has a bolo net contraption that he's going to catapult out off the back that'll spin towards them, and as the air gets it, it kind of opens up and forms a net, and he was going to send it at their helm.
Okay. So I would say that you can either give them a disadvantage on the save or on their piloting check.
What would you guys like? I say dis on the save, because that would be... Okay, so then he's going to do it more as a fear tactic as he swings as far out as he takes it to the very edge of his rope. So he's literally, if he let go, he'd be on their deck. So
Right.
he comes around the edge and he throws it out and casts catapult, and it spins out like a buzzsaw towards the helm, more for a fear effect. It's not going to hurt him if it hits. Well, it'll hurt, but it won't, conceivably.
You're just throwing some net at them. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And so he spins by and screams as he kind of almost touches the tip of their flag head or whatever will be coming off the ship as he laughs, and then Hilda can rock him with the buzz.
Okay. So Hilda, what's the DC on that wisdom save?
Does that go off of me as caster, or does it go off of the checks that I have where I've invested in the spell?
It goes off of you as the caster.
Okay. Then I believe it's... I believe that's a DC 12. Yes, DC 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You manage to... yes, she is fearful of you as you manage to, like, it looks like you're trying to stay in front of the mage's ship, and they try to make a move, and you rock right by them and swing right over the top of their sails, and Ellery does his thing and is like right above her and throws a net down right in her face, and she just like jerks the ship to the side. And so you said that means that they are frightened?
They are frightened for 1d4 rounds.
Okay. Do you want to go ahead and roll that?
The d4?
Yeah.
Sure.
It's your spell. Go ahead and let you roll the die.
That's a 2.
All right, for 2 rounds. So for 2 rounds, they cannot approach your ship or try to pass it, as she just kind of pulls back. And you hear, E44, you hear her say, wait, no, there's something else here. Something else is at play. And pulls back. Okay, so that is y'all's action. Now go ahead and give me your rolls for the actual maneuverability speed as you duck up between these formations of rock from the twisted remains.
I got a 15, Brew.
I got a 13.
And I got a 15.
Okay. Ooh. Okay. All right, so there's a bit of a shuffle here. Y'all did fairly well. Emma, you passed your piloting check, but maybe it was the violent nature of that maneuver that kind of threw you off a little bit as you entered this particular part of the course. And this is like even closer to the mountains. I mean, there's some of these where you almost see, like, you feel like your sail like brushed by rock, like you can feel it as it zips by, the change in air pressure. You manage to hold off the elves, but in this time, as you come up out of this formation, and you can see the ironwoods on your left as you crest up on top of the land here, both the Mag Acadium ship and Bobolodal and the gnomes and humans of Forrester's Hollow manage to pull even with your ship as you begin to make the final bend around the Ironwoods. And it's a heated contest. And as you're coming up around here, DeCool, you can see Bobolodal looking over at you. And, you see him kind of giving you like his eyebrows are raised, and he's like basically giving you like it's a now or never look. Mm-hmm. The wizards of the Magate Acadium, you can see their rover is just like throwing gusts of wind, using magic to throw gusts of wind to fill their sails as they got them to at least get up even with you as you begin to wheel around the Ironwoods themselves. What's everybody's passive perception?
14.
12.
13.
13.
Okay, DeCool. In the distance, to the west, you're coming around this corner and the sun's fading, and so the light actually gets, your eyes have now kind of balanced out, and you have your, that dark elf vision from one of your parents, and in the distance, like, that there's a village off to the west, as after the Nero's Gates flew for the first time 50 years ago. Expansion of humans and new towns and villages. There's been an influx of new people immigrating here to Nero's 4, and there was a village that was started not 10 years ago out to the west, and leaving the village, and it's a village that is not on the ocean. It's landlocked. It's an agricultural village. You see a ship taking off. From the land, which is very odd. Not many ships can actually land on land, and it's of a very peculiar shape. You could swear it looks like a flying spider or some kind of insect, but the hairs on the back of your neck stand up as just the general shape kind of awakens an old phobia.
Okay. The first thing I want to do is bring it to Hilda's attention.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say, Hilda, do you see the strange creature taking off to the west?
Yeah, and as he yells that out, everyone on the ship can actually make a perception check.
Well, I see a strange.
Yeah.
Hilda got a 5, and she's like, I'm driving this ship to cool.
Okay. Don't worry about it.
I got
13.
a 22.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And Ellery?
13.
13? Okay. Yeah, Ellery's like, he's swinging around, he's actually looking south, and he's like, I don't see shit, But, E404, you like turn, and your eyes like turn and zoom in, and you look at it, and it distinctly looks like spider-shaped. And not only that, like, it's taking off and taking flight, and looks like it's trying to get out of there pretty quickly. But there's also another smaller ship of the same configuration, but just smaller, and it's still on the ground. And you think you see almost like a plume of flames and some smoke coming up in the distance. Again, this is about, I don't know, a couple miles away, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what you see.
I believe somebody is being maybe attacked.
Yeah, E4 first. It is hard to tell. There are things taking off and one ship staying there. Is this like ahead on the course, or is this like off course?
Well, you're about to make the turn to head back east. You're getting close to that. But right now, you're kind of coming up and brushing the tops of the trees. If you look on the map, you're brushing the tops of the trees of the Ironwood, still heading kind of southwest, about to make that hard turn. And this is a little bit further west, a couple of miles away. And it's, so yeah, that's,
Okay, do I have any idea what these strange flying things could be?
You could make me a history check or maybe an arcana. That's some ship knowledge is it could be ruled under arcana. Do you describe that to your rest of your crew? That
Yeah. So as there's thinking with an arcana, that's not great. That's a I say that's not great. That's a 14. As E4 said, there is a arachnid-like ship taking off from land, which is odd. I am not sure what it is with a 14.
Yeah, you've heard, you've seen, you've assimilated files, however you want to say it, read, whatever. You've heard of, spider-shaped ships. The elves have like ships that look like plants and insects. But as you describe this, anyone else who has either history or arcana can make a check. As E404 gives kind of a specific description.
Hearing arachnid, Hilda dials back through her brain and gets a 19 on an arcana check.
That's
okay.
what Ellery got.
Okay, Ellery, you have heard tale of these types of ship. Emma, you have a fear that rushes back from over 2.5 centuries ago of these spider-like bodied but eel-headed creatures, these beasts that are called Neogi, and they are a menace across the cosmos, as they are slavers. They have, that they have some kind of mental abilities to take over the minds of people. Sometimes you've heard tale of them just having members when they take a town. They'll sometimes have the head of the town taken over and kill all the other fighters just to show their dominance. They are detestable creatures. And from her description that looking over there is some version of a Neogi death spider. A ship that is either some kind of warship or, you're not sure, you're a little bit too far away.
We're headed straight for it.
Right now, technically, you're headed straight for it. The next turn is coming up pretty quickly. But what you know that the ship you're on is pretty fast. And so
I will tell everybody, by the gods, do not let it touch us. That's all you need to know right now. It's terrifying.
Yeah, and for the first time, Ellery actually sobers up a bit as he kind of regrips as he's swinging, and instead of the carefree attitude he had before, as the pirates' tales that have always filtered through any manner of sailing reach his ears and the thoughts of what this could possibly be, he focuses for once and falls quiet.
Okay.
They look like they need help. Should we forego the race and see what it is?
I do not think we are prepared to deal with such threats. From what I understand, we should finish the race and perhaps seek professional help.
They've already been attacked. It's too late. From what I remember.
We have to run.
Well, you know that they like to take slaves, and with with everyone filtering into Nero's gates from all the surrounding communities, there might be some people left behind, but it's a very skeleton population of the town. So
I do not feel anybody sees this but us. I think if there are survivors, we could be their only hope.
And as you look around, you see, you look over to your right where Boba Lodal is piloting the Forrester's Hollow ship, and to your left, the Magate Acadium, and you actually see like a similar debate taking place on the Magate Acadium ship. But Bobolodal, he's looking over there, and he's actually like flying and like looking over at y'all's ship and the mages, and his vision is like is straight ahead, as in it looks like he's focused on the race.
Do I still have an action?
Yeah, again, like we're keeping this kind of loose. Like, this all takes place over minutes. So, yes, I mean, this whole conversation can be going on.
Can I do a spot check to see if we're on a racing skiff? I'm assuming that there's additional sails on the boat in case something happens to one of the main sails. You can put another one up. Is that a safe assumption?
Yeah, I mean, there are other sails. Yeah,
there are other sails. Okay. For my action, I want to find one of those sails and tie a rope to an arrow. I think that's I don't know if that's a full action or not.
Yeah, that would be an action, to start doing that. Yeah.
That's what I would like to start doing.
And we have one more turn coming up, right, Pruitt? So
yeah,
this is gonna.
You're coming up to the next turn. That will be, the next part of the skill challenge. So,
as soon as Ellery would see that the Cool has an idea, he swings down and takes the position like he did before at the jib to just help with the maneuverability around the corner for the next series of maneuvers.
Okay.
Yeah, if we're gonna turn and get closer to it, that's what Hilda's gonna try to do.
Get closer to what?
To the. Well, you said if we take the turn, then we're gonna be right near the spider ship. Yes.
Well, no, you're not.
Did I misunderstand?
You're about to turn. If you look on the map there, you're about to kind of turn south and then back east. But further southwest, you'd have to still go another mile off the course if you wanted to go intervene in that. It's kind of in there's like a low hill or a lower part of the terrain, like down a hill, and the one that's in the sky is still rising up, and there is still the ship that is on the ground.
See it being the right thing to do. We also need to get the heck off this planet. E404, what do you think?
Oh boy. God. Thanks. E404 kind of cocks their head as you basically see the digital cogs in their head going. And they say, I do not know how prepared we are to possibly confront these. I believe the Cool is doing something to bring attention to them.
Right. I agree. Hilda knows, we all know as we've done this before, if we get off the ship, Hilda cannot do anything.
Well, no. Emma, I did change that. You just lose the spell that you invested.
You changed it?
Yes, I did. I'm sorry. I thought I brought that up earlier. That is my bad. Because this isn't a full Spelljammer. This is a skill, right? So.
Okay, cool. Still, I think let's call attention if we can get a coordinated effort. Let's do it.
Okay.
This is dangerous.
Are we just about to go around the bend? Is that what's going on now? We're about to do our.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, so you're going to continue on the race, yes?
I think we are. Is that
Okay.
what? Yeah, that's what the intention was. Correct, Deku?
I believe so.
Okay.
From my assumption, we are continuing on with the race. It's
Okay.
It's 4 boats side by side. That's what I'm seeing in my head.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
So, I'm sorry, it's 3 boats side by side. The elves right behind you, and then the captain's ship right behind them. So you got the mages on your left. You got Forcer's Hollow on your right, and y'all are in the middle. So, you got a ship on each side. Nicole, you're doing.
Yeah, was that action for my last turn or was it for this turn?
That was the last one. You were just doing that coming up towards the bend. So this is the actual action for the skill challenge.
Right. So if we are still racing, and Dakula knows that this is still a race, but he is troubled because he does see action ahead. He calculates in his head. He said, if we do not win this race ourselves, then I should make sure that the man that can help me may be able to win. As he's stitching his ropes together to this arrow for one shot, the rope is attached to the backup sail that we have, and he aims his bow at the left side at the Maj 8 boat, since it's three people going side by side.
Mm-hmm.
He pulls true and aims the arrow at the hull of the boat, hoping to snag it and dragging the sail behind them to create an additional drag to slow the other boats down.
Like a parachute, kind of?
Yes, like a parachute.
Awesome. All right. So you go ahead and make that roll. Make that attack.
19 plus the 6.
Okay. No, you don't even need to. Yeah. So Dakul like pulls the thing and fires off an arrow and tags the Magate Acadian boat, and it lurches almost like they hit the brakes almost. Meanwhile, none of them saw it coming, because again, they were kind of having the same debate, through the wind whipping. You couldn't make out every word, but you heard some of the same words that were on this, like, you can help them being attacked, and so arrow fires off, sail expands, catches the wind, it starts to bring them back. Go ahead and make y'all's skill challenge rolls for this next turn. This is a pretty hard banking turn. Like you're doing like a kind of a 270 degree turn almost. So it's going to be pretty hard on you there, Ellery. So you got to lean hard into that jib and
14.
Okay.
18.
That was a 11.
An 11. Okay.
23 for Hilda.
23. Okay.
Was I supposed to roll on that one, Pruitt? Because I didn't know if Dakul was doing his action at this time, or if not, then I will gladly step back and allow him to.
Well, no. Unfortunately, Dakul, his action was to impede the Magate ship, and you were taking. I understood you were taking the jib from him. So
right.
Yeah. So in that case, yep, the Magate ship lurches behind, but y'all don't make the turn really well, and actually it ends up where they kind of bump into you, and y'all kind of slide off a little bit. The Forrester's Hollow ship and Bobel Lodal actually pulls ahead, and they make the turn. They don't make it great. They do good enough to get through the turn and to stay in the lead. And actually, the captain ship is able to leap past both of y'all because you don't make a lot of good progress. And so as you make the turn, you start to continue around the forest, and you actually see, you see the Magate Acadium ship, turn, and it looks like they're heading towards that village. As you look back and you see them, as this move that Dakul pulled, knock them back into last. There's kind of a yell of just oh, we're doing it, and you see them kind of break off and start heading back towards that village as y'all begin speeding along the forest.
They see what we see. We should help.
Yeah, we should help. As he swings by, and for the first time, you might see just a touch of fear in Ellery's face as he swings by.
Hilda says it might not be much help, but sometimes you have to try.
And E4 says, if there are two ships, our chances of helping increase exponentially. So I am guessing we're all just gonna, all right, let's just go and help is what's happening.
Okay. So y'all are breaking off and following the Magate Acadium ship to pursue this ship that is taking off from a village. Okay, so as you close in, they have gone over, and you saw their rover like cast a spell and knock the arrow off, and the sail goes fluttering past you as you're pulling up behind them. And you, as you are pulling up, you begin pulling up next to them, and like the head, the guy that is piloting their ship, you might know him. He's well known. He's liked by some, not by all. He's one of the head students at the Magate Acadium, and he's also the son of the Magate's head magus. Head magus. And so people kind of see him as a bit of a, he lucked into this, and but you see him like look over at you and give you like a nod of approval and of camaraderie, and then just kind of focuses back forward. And his compatriots are, you have the one casting spells, throwing gusts into the sails. And as you're approaching the ship, you're getting within about a quarter of a mile of it, and you see that it begins to vibrate and shake as it's taking off. But knowing what you know about like seeing the other ship leaving atmosphere and how fast these skiffs are, you think that you can probably catch it. Like even at this distance, about a quarter of a mile out, you think you might be able to catch it. And now that you're a little bit closer, you can see on the back of it, kind of the body of the ship, as it has its like 3 legs that kind of prong down into landing gear. As it takes off, 2 of them kind of fold up, and you see like sails forming that look like spider web, like made of like the sheerest silk, catching air with the 2 front legs that are pointed up. And the back of the ship itself, kind of the body of the spider, is open air, and you see a few people walking around like humanoids, like walking around. Looks like they're like stowing gear or something, or like tying off ropes. But that's all you really see as you're approaching. And so now we will roll initiative. So it's for the ship itself. If y'all would prefer, we can keep it to ship initiative. That way y'all can all kind of coordinate your actions and go, however you would like to on your ship. And so if that's the case, then it would be whoever's helming the ship, you would use their initiative modifier. And it's, instead of modified by your dex, it's modified by your casting ability, whatever that is.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go ship so we can stay.
You're muted, Emma. Welcome to Gaming on the Internet. You have now had your first muted talk.
I can't just talk to you.
I do it every single week, so don't feel bad at all. Somebody cast silence.
In that case, then our initiative is +2.
Okay, so go ahead and roll that for.
All right. We got an 8.
Got an 8.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So it looks like as you're moving in, y'all kind of take the lead, so to speak, and you're moving up towards this ship as they begin to gain altitude, and it looks like you have been spotted. Like you hear see someone pointing in the distance, and there's some shouting that you can't really make out, but you can tell that they're shouting, and there's some noise, but no distinct words. And it looks like they're pulling up, like you're not sure what it is, but they're long, and it looks like there's a point at the end of it. It might be some form of harpoon or ballista, you're not sure, but it looks like they're pulling and mounting them on the back of the ship. It looks like they're mounting 2 of them, and that's what they're doing with their action. Now it is y'all's turn. And I'm just going to say right now, you're probably about close to about 500 feet away from them, and you'll be able to move in another round or two. You're not really sure which. You think you can close the distance as you begin moving up, and the mages, actually one of them flings a spell, and it kind of goes wide, as a bolt of fire just kind of streaks past. I mean, it was just a shot in the dark, really, at best.
Well, so much for the surprise attack.
Pruitt, can I check and see if those are indeed ballista that they are arming to fire on us?
Yeah, you can go ahead and make a vehicle check with your knowledge of sailing and vessels thereof.
How's a 9? Does a 9 look
A
good?
9, it's really popular on another live play channel, but it's it's you're like, yeah, they're mounting some kind of weapon, basically.
Right.
It's some kind of weapon, sure.
Sorry.
Okay. Is anyone else doing anything on your turn to aid the ship or take a shot or anything?
Are we within 90 feet?
Not yet. It'll be another round or two, depending on your next. And actually, I'm sorry, Emma, you need to make a piloting roll.
I do, and when I do that piloting roll, I want to do a barrel roll.
Do a barrel roll?
Do a barrel roll.
Good luck.
Okay. So hopefully, if they do shoot whatever that thingy is, it maybe won't hit us. Maybe.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that the one that gives disadvantage?
Yes.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
But I also rolled an 8. So.
Rolled an 8. Okay, you try to do a barrel roll, and you're so concentrated on like speed, you don't really get it over in time, and you kind of have to just duck back down. And let's see, that's them, and that is you. Okay, so yes, as you're closing in, sure enough, you don't hear it, but you see like two, like, not really sure what they are, if they're javelins, harpoons, spears, long and pointy, and they're coming right at you. One slams into one slams into the rover of the Gait Acadium ship, and he goes flying off the back of the skiff, like just, and he's just gone, just like that. The other one, the one aiming towards y'all, slams into the front of your hull, like right next to Dakul's leg. But it just hits the hull itself. And actually, Emma, let's see. Yeah, Emma, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw, because that is your casting stat. Yeah. Yeah, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw for taking that damage in order to, because you are the ship, right? So technically you kind of took damage.
Yes. Okay. Wisdom saving throw.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 17.
17? Okay. You're able to maintain control of the ship, and you don't, it hurts, and you actually take, you took half damage from that, so you only take 8 psychic damage as this. And now that you look at it, it is definitely some type of harpoon, but it almost looks like if you took a spider's leg and you could actually see all the jagged hairs and everything. It's just looks wicked. About maybe like 4 feet long, and kind of serrated. And it just goes like right through, and it's nasty. It splinters the wood apart. If that hits someone, it's not going to be pretty. But you manage to maintain control of your vessel, and so that is their turn. Now it is your go, and then it'll be the Gait Acadium crew. So here, just like in the skill challenge, if y'all want to assist with like speed or whatever, you can. As you now close to within, 150 feet.
All right.
Speed, right? We need to get into this thing because it's going to pick us apart if we stay out here.
I agree. So with my action, I look at the damage that this harpoon has caused, and I know that we cannot take another one of those. And I grab my longbow, and with my elven eyes, I try to see if I can make out who is the person that is shooting this treacherous weapon at us. And I take aim and fire with my longbow.
Okay. Is that within your normal range, or is that at long range?
No, this is within long range. If it's right at 150, so I shouldn't be shooting with disadvantage.
Okay, cool.
Not be shooting with a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So go ahead and take your shot.
Oh, and I would like to add the additional bonus if it hits. Let me see the shot. Just see if it hits. An 8 plus the 6, so that's 14.
14. Okay, yeah. At this distance, because they are behind kind of the railing, so it gives them some cover. Your arrow kind of streaks, and it looks like it's going right at him, and it just like thunks into the side of the boat, like right below. It would have hit him like right in the stomach, but because he's behind the hull of the ship and this weapon that he's currently reloading, and it like thuds in and he kind of like snaps up and looks at you, and like, you know, you see like his eyes go wide with fear, and he's shakily, and it looks like he actually like drops the harpoon, and it falls out off the back of the ship, and he's going to get another one as one of the other of the crew. And again, these are humanoids. Now that you're closer, you can tell like these look like humans, and maybe some other races. Not maybe like half elf, or you're not sure if there's a dwarf there, but they are definitely humanoid, and so there's that. But yes, you actually cause him to drop his harpoon, and he's like reaching for another one as he's being berated. You're continuing to rise through the air, and go ahead and give me your rolls for speed here as you're closing in.
And Ellery will help E404 if that's okay.
Okay.
Giving.
All right, so you're rolling with advantage, E.
That's an 18.
Okay.
I would like to perform, and I hate the name of this, a scissor maneuver.
Okay.
Which essentially will take us, assuming this ship is not super larger than us, yes?
I mean, it is a larger ship than you, yes.
Is it too large to be able to switch sides of it?
Well, I mean, you can kind of just like switch on the other side of it, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a lot more maneuverable than it is. So yes, I would say that you could do that, sure.
Okay, cool. Then we're going to perform a scissor maneuver and go to the other side of the ship. That's never going to get old, you guys.
I'm taking psychic damage from not saying every pun coming into my head right now.
I know it's hard for you. And we got a 17.
Okay. So, and what else does that provide you?
It gives us, so we're on the opposite sides, and a member of your vehicle's crew may make an attack on that vehicle as you pass.
Okay. Yeah. So you're just kind of like crossing over, like back and forth, and so whoever you designate can make an attack, because I believe that you can make a free attack, like kind of as a reaction.
Okay, then cool. Take another shot.
Absolutely. How far away from the deck?
From the deck now, you're about 100 feet as you're closing in. Next round, you'll be like right up on it.
Right. Second chances. This is a sign from the gods. Pull my longbow, kiss the arrow. One good time for luck. Pull the string back and fire. 12. That makes 18.
18. Yes. So that just gets over. Are you firing at the same guy who had dropped it and he's now starting over the reloading process?
Yes.
Or are you aiming at someone else?
The first guy that I see loading the harpoons is the one that will feel the fury.
Okay. All right. So yeah, this guy he'd already dropped one and he's picking up another one, and he comes up like to feed it into the front, to load it into the front, and go ahead and roll damage on that.
All right. Hold on. So sorry. My dice are spread everywhere.
And did you say you were doing a Kinsai shot last time, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Shots for 1d4 extra damage.
Okay, yeah. So that's still, I would say that still applies since it's basically in the same round.
So the first one is an 8, and the d4 is a 2.
Okay.
10
So that's 10 total.
10 total.
Okay. Yeah, your arrow streaks in, and like I said, he had just reached down to pick up another harpoon, comes up, and it catches him like right in the upper chest, and he goes sprawling back, clutching at this arrow, and just screams in agony. Like he's like, "Oh my God, what the fuck?" And, I mean, you can like hear this from like that far away. And the guy in the back who was berating him for dropping the harpoon in the first place yells like, "Take the harpoon, shoot him, shoot them." And just kind of very like monotone and droning almost. And so you did your move, you did your thing, you shot your thing. The Magate Acadium goes. They burst forward. Let's see, and they fire. A couple of them actually fire fire bolts, and one strikes the side of the hull and just kind of extinguishes, and the other goes wide again. And their skiff captain, his name's Xander, by the way. You would know that. His name's Xander Cerrone. He kind of barks at him. He's like, "Focus! Remember your training. You can do this." And they're sitting there like, I mean, you look, the crew, they're all like second, third year, and he's like 8th year, and so, they're kind of rattled, but they're still trying to do their job, as he's hasn't moved up as close as you did since you pulled the nifty maneuver and everything, and they're focusing on like firing as they're moving in. They were trying to harry the other harpoonist, whatever. And so, they continue moving up, but again, they're a little bit further back than you. So since you took out the one harpoon guy, that one does not get reloaded in time. And you kind of flipped over to the other side, and the other is reloaded and takes a shot at the Magate Acadium. It's about this time, and it strikes true, so does it. Okay, so the student in the front that just took a shot gets caught in the leg with a harpoon and screams in agony as I mean, you hear it, the wet splash of blood, and because this thing again it's nasty. It almost goes all the way through his leg. I'm sorry, her leg. My bad. I had to check my name list here. And so she screams in agony and drops to the deck, as the dwarf who is over there, who's out casting spells with her, kind of drops down to her side, and you hear Xander like, "No, stay!" and like stay on point. And so it is now your turn, and it's about this time, like I said, as you are moving up in the atmosphere, like your ears start to pop, and like the air, like Hilda, you kind of feel like the resistance on the ship is lessening a little bit, just a little, but it's just something worth noting. As a pilot, you know that you can take these things pretty high, but not too terribly high. Well, it's the coming back part, really. It's the falling.
Pruitt, can we see the helmsperson on the spider craft?
No, as you get closer, again, this is kind of like the rear bulb of the ship that is just kind of open, but you can see a door on the flat side moving up towards the front, towards the head of the ship, that is closed, and all you can kind of see is the open deck on the back here. And, there's various lines strewn about, some going up to the sails that are attached to the legs far overhead. But it's a pretty open air deck, and you get a better view now. And there's the one guy on the ground with the arrow in his chest, and then it looks like there's about 5 or 6 others kind of moving about, and trying to move to the harpoons and reload them. And some of them are now grabbing like weapons and crossbows as y'all approach. And so it is now your turn. And in this round, you can basically pull alongside. However you want to do that, you will be able to overtake the vessel this round with whatever action you take.
Let's get on board.
Yeah, E404 is no help at range here, so.
Ellery swings down and takes one of his. All of a sudden, an invisible hand appears and pulls another one of his lines down into play, and he wraps 2 of them around the arms or under the armpits of E404, and he gets on top in his Master Blaster type of riding E404. And as soon as it pitches and he can swing out Master Blaster style with E404, he wants to hit the deck with, if that's okay.
I fucking love this.
That is so okay that I don't know how to describe how okay that is.
Yes.
While they're swinging over, he gets ready to release the silk ropes that he has tied loosely around the sides to kind of send E404 as like a missile towards the deck. He does that same pat on the top of E404's head, and he goes, "Go get him. I'm going to drive this thing."
This is great. Yeah, so do we get onto the ship for it?
Yeah, so correct me if I'm wrong, but you're going to try to like sling her, like
as our ship banks and the rigging would have us kind of like a swing just after force. We're going to swing over when we hit the apex. I'm going to release the knots and send us.
Gotcha. Okay, so go ahead and you give me an acrobatics check, Ellery, as you're kind of like hanging onto the rope and swinging and letting momentum do its job. And
how's a 23 strike you?
A 23 strikes me as something out of insert pirate movie here. I mean, you just like run up, grab her, the boat tips, and you just kind of pendulum out across the expanse, and you look down, and y'all are more than a few thousand feet in the air, and you look down at like nothingness, and just land, and you're getting out over the ocean now as you're kind of heading west, and you manage to get right over the edge of the edge of the ship and land on the deck without. I mean, like. Eve, go ahead and give me just go and give me an athletics check to check your landing at least.
How about a nat 20 for that superhero landing through it?
Yes.
Okay, so you pendulum out and just stand up, servos whirling and just
Yes.
and like the people around you like look at you wide-eyed and just like terrified. And go ahead and now that you're both on deck, and Dakul, I'm sorry, let's go ahead and finish the movement before I describe. Dakul, what are your plans here? And Emo and Hilda, what are you going to do as they're doing this?
I'm gonna look back at Hilda. Oh, my can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna look back at Hilda. I'm so tired of Ellery always having all of the fun. It's time for us to jump in, shall we? I'm gonna offer my hand and let's get to kicking some butt, if you want to.
Interesting. As pilot, what's gonna happen to the ship if I disengage?
If you like just get out of the seat and run off, I mean, you would have about a second as its momentum is going to carry it forward. I mean, you're kind of like next to the ship right now, but it would just kind of tip back and fall to the earth.
Oh, can I change my action? It's too late. I can't change my action.
Well, I
she'd
mean,
have
all you said is you offered a hand to, so she doesn't have to take it. I mean,
I have an action then.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is all part of kind of your move.
Right.
So,
right. All right. So in that same, when I offer my hand, I want to look over to the rigging of both of our ships and figure. I'm not a sailor, so I don't know the term. When you get the rope and tie it around the sides of the knots, can I tie our ship to theirs so that it doesn't move?
Oh, okay. So you want to moor your ship to their ship and try to keep it there?
Moor our ship to their ship and just leave it there.
I think that's
my
the
next
term.
question.
Yeah. I use that as a term.
Yeah, you like if you did that, I mean, it would stay there as long as Hilda stayed at the helm. It would kind of anchor it, so to speak, but she would still need to power it because the second she quit powering the ship itself, I mean, it's still a skiff and it weighs however much it weighs, and it would just rip the rope away.
I understand. Okay. All right. Well then, keep it running for me.
You go get him, everybody, and you come back.
Yes.
I'm here for you.
Okay. So Hilda, you're gonna stay on the skiff and just kind of keep it there.
I'm gonna try to make life hard for them.
Okay.
Yes.
For the ship, for its ship. Okay, cool. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Okay, so
where's my air support?
It's coming, Mal. So yes, so Dakul, you jump onto the ship. Go ahead and give me a acrobatics or athletics, whichever one you want there, just to check for the landing, as these two craft are both kind of.
Okay. Let's see, +4 on dexterity, so that makes that 17. Yes.
17. Yeah, you just pop a ninja roll and pop right up. Whatever pose you want to strike. But yeah, you do it with the fluidity of a master.
Yes.
And so y'all all of you get on the ship now. And you look around, and like I said, there's about 6 guys left. There's the guy on the ground, he's clutching at an arrow, like, oh god. In the distance, closer to the door at the back is the guy who was kind of droning orders at everyone. And you see him, and he's rather a more stout human. All these guys are in kind of grubby sailor/pirate garb. They don't look very well bathed. They're dirty, nasty, slightly emaciated a little bit. Go ahead and give me either perception or insight, whichever one you prefer.
All of us, or
whoever's on deck. Sorry, so not everyone but Hilda. Everyone but Hilda.
My perception is 14.
16 on perception.
Okay. Yeah, you 14. Yeah, you kind of all notice that, Dakul. You notice these guys are grubby. But that's sailors, right? That's pirates. That's sailors. That's nothing new. You've seen them come and go. But with E44's perception there, she kind of zooms in and notices like most of these guys are pretty emaciated, kind of sunken. Their eyes are sunken a little bit. Their cheekbones are protruding slightly. As in like these guys haven't been well fed. And like even the guys on deck, you see them like they're holding like short swords, or some of them are trying to load crossbows right now. The 5, like I said, the more stout human is in the back, and he's just kind of standing there like stone faced. And he's just like, fight them, take them out now. And the other 5 they're all doing this and with shaking hands, and without much exuberance to do this task. So E44, you just moved. Like Ellery, he kind of did a whole thing with his action and did a movement. You only moved this round, and Dakul, you only moved. So you still have your action and react and bonus action, whatever you would like to do with that.
Oh, it's on me?
Both of you, because remember we're like y'all go, and then the mages go, and then the ship goes. So we're just kind of keeping it loose group initiative.
Okay.
Yeah. So you basically E44 does the quick head scan and says, I do not believe these 5 are the problem. that one is giving orders they do not want to follow. We should eliminate the problem.
I don't know about y'all, but I'm just imagining the Terminator screen of just like target assessment, outlining everyone. Oh God. Anyway, sorry. Didn't mean to break the moment. But do you do anything with your actions?
I can.
Yeah. E44 is gonna wait to see what Dakul does before they do anything.
Okay, so Dakul, you still have your action and your bonus. You've already used your movement up.
Nice.
And there's no one within melee, just so you know. Like you're still about 10 feet away from the nearest sailor who's currently trying to like look at you while considering reloading the harpoon to shoot.
Okay. Yes, I did notice that they are paying attention to the man off in the distance. I was put a solve to this problem. Pull my longbow out. Pull the fletching out. Pull back, kiss the arrow yet again for luck. And I let it loose.
Okay.
An 11 plus my 6, so that's 7. 17.
17?
Yes.
17 does hit. This guy is not wearing armor. You know, he's like, again, he's dressed in the same kind of ratty rags that all the other guys are.
Mhm.
So yes, your arrow flies true and strikes him.
Right. But he's far from dead, right? I hope.
Well, how much damage you do?
Oh, would help if I did my damage. 2 and 2 is 4.
And go. Be sure to.
That was for the bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 2 for the 8, and then the bonus die was 2.
Okay, and don't forget your dexterity modifier to damage also.
Oh, yeah, that's 4. So that makes up 12.
So 8.
4 and 4 is 8. I can't math today.
Okay. Yeah, you loose an arrow and it strikes him low in the abdomen, and he just kind of like and just lets out a solid and then stands back up, and he's just like kind of clutching the arrow, but he's not giving it any real mind, and he's still like pointing at y'all like to attack. And now it is the mage's turn.
Oh, I haven't gone yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. My
I was
bad. My
waiting.
bad. You're
No worries.
absolutely right.
How far
Yeah.
away is this guy?
This guy from y'all, he's about, I would say like 20, 25 feet. 25
Oh.
feet.
Okay. So E44 starts walking forward, and they're doing calculations in their head, and they're perceiving that this is a danger. And as calculations are happening, Dakul will see smoke starting to come out from one of the ears, as suddenly their eyes start glowing a very bright red, and even their exterior starts to glow red with heat, as some cold seems to take over. As E44 stops walking like, more casually and just gunning for this guy. And you watch as their right arm shifts and transforms into a giant warhammer.
Mm-hmm.
In the rage, I am activating my aura of fire.
Mm-hmm.
And they are going to raise up and just smack this guy. So that is that is a 19 to hit.
19 hits him.
Okay. So first he takes 2 points of fire damage because he is within my aura. As the heat radiating off of E44 damages him. And that's a 12 points of damage.
Shit. Okay. Okay, so as you walk forward and heat starts to shimmer and kind of warp the air around you into like kind of a mirage effect, and steam starts coming off. First things first, the guy you walk next to on the ground who took the arrow, Like he's laying on his side, and you walk right by him, and you, Dakul, you see this. Maybe E, you don't. You're because you're like you said, you're focused on this guy. Dakul, you see this guy. His face just starts to like burn and sizzle as the heat radiating off. And what's the range on your?
I have a 10-foot radius.
10-foot radius. Yeah. Okay. So yes, you walk right by this guy. He's the only one you walk by on path to this main guy, and you see him. He's clutching this arrow, looking up, and his face just begins to burn, and he just and his eyes almost melt out of their sockets as he goes quiet and still on the deck. And then you walk up to this guy, and he's just like stone-faced, just non-responsive, holding this arrow in his stomach with his hand out, and you watch like his fingers start to sizzle and boil, and you bring your warhammer up. And how do you want to do this?
Yes! So E44 is not thinking like they normally do. This is something else, as they just raise up the warhammer and just to the side of the head as hard as he can, just feeling that crack under the metal.
Yeah. So you just come straight across his temple, and like his head just kind of goes sideways as there's a sharp snap of his neck, and his head just stays there, and he just tips over.
And E44 like does the unnaturally like too much head turn towards Dakul.
Like an owl, like just turn your head all the way around on your body. Yeah.
And E44 in like bright red eyes just says, "Problem eliminated."
Indeed it is.
Okay. So there's that. Anyway, so then the Magate Acadium ship pulls up alongside, and so the dwarf that was still there, you hear Xander like, "Get on, help them!" And he jumps out. He's not as graceful as Dakul was. He does get on deck and he lands, but he kind of lands in a heap, and he's like, "Ah, my knee, damn trick knee!" And so he's gonna have to basically spend the rest of his action like getting up and standing up. But he's also in the midst of the other, because there were 6 out here total. I think I misdescribed something earlier. I think I said there was one more than there actually is. There's only 4 remaining on deck, and all 4 of these guys are like they're literally like looking at each other and moving towards the 3 combatants that are on deck, shaking like they look at E44, and none of them want to walk near you. And they actually like look at their shipmates on the ground, face burned. This guy's head is turned sideways. In your footsteps, there's smoke wafting off the deck of the ship itself. And the remaining 4, all of them just kind of like look and start moving towards Dakul and the dwarf. And okay, so you're gonna get you're each gonna get 2 attacks. And like as they're coming up to attack you, Dakul, you can like you hear them like, please help us, and they're like swinging at you as they're saying like, please. And so one of them misses, and the other one gets a 18 to hit. That hits.
Yeah, my armor class is 18, so yeah.
Okay. So they're both wielding short swords, these guys. So you're going to take 6 points of damage as he strikes you. Like even as he strikes you, like he's looking at you like, help, please. Just they're almost like trying to whisper, like, and they keep looking over their shoulder at the door in the back, as if they don't want to be overheard by something. I mean, like you've seen this behavior, but it's not really making much sense right now as these guys are both attacking you. The dwarf, he gets attacked by 2, but you see him throw some magic up as a plume of blue energy surrounds him, and the blows deflect off of it where they would have hit him in the side and in the head. And he's just like getting up off the ground, like just trying to maintain his own. He gets a word of encouragement from Xander. It's like, well done, as his ship just kind of banks back. And it is that is their turn. It is now y'all's turn.
From the guy that, just a quick question from the guy that hit me.
Yeah.
He's in front of me, and the door that he's talking about is behind him. Correct?
Yes. Y'all are at the back of this ship, and the door is up here, and it was just another 10 feet past the guy that E just brained. So she's about 20 feet away from that door. Ellery, you're about you kind of landed and went off to the side, right? Like when y'all landed?
Ellery was riding until the steam shot up from the side of E404's head, and he just stood up, kind of crossed his arms and looked at the poor bastard that was hit and said, sorry, and rolled backwards out of the way, knowing what was coming with the fire. So yeah, He'd be probably about 10 feet off to the right of E404, just outside of the burn area.
Okay, yeah, you kind of rolled off the side. So you're probably about maybe 20, 25 feet away from that door. E, you said you didn't move, you just turned your head, right? So yeah, you're about 10 feet away from this door. And so then behind you, there's two guys each engaged with the mage dwarf and your compatriot Daku. So that's kind of the setup right now.
Okay. I believe we need to get to the door. These men do not have the spirits for this.
Ellery's already on his way there, and he sends the mage hand forward to open the door as he kind of spins up, and since it's already out, that's a bonus action for me, I believe. So Ellery would like to pop the door and see if he can't. I'd like to, as my action, get in there and hide, like go stealth and have the door open, and then see if I can.
So as you run forward and you send your invisible, right, mage hand? Yeah, you're invisible. You just kind of, you see Ellery just kind of like flick his hand up, and the handle of the door just kind of and just doesn't move. It is locked fast.
Oh,
as you're running up towards the door.
Can I pick that shit?
You can totally pick that shit. That's what you're born to do.
That's a nat 20, baby.
Okay, well then what I will allow then, you're like you're trying to open the door, and you realize it's locked, and you just kind of turn your mage hand in, and just the door just kind of springs open just a little bit. And so it does spring open as you approach it. So do you still want to enter the room,
Ellery's going to pull right up to the side and wait and pull his rapier out, which is incredibly ostentatious. It's got like tassels and stuff hanging off of the guard, and pull out one of his daggers as he waits. And feeling brave and being brave are two terribly different things. And Ellery is feeling really brave right now, but he'd be a lot braver if E404 and the Cool were with him and their ship was flying overhead doing other things. So he was there by himself.
Okay. So but you're just going to wait there at the side of the door, yes?
Yep.
Okay. So Dakul and E?
Excellent move. How far away is their leader from me? He's not the one that got struck down, right? He's still in the...
Oh, no. E brained the leader, the guy speaking in like a monotone voice. Yes. Yeah. And keep in mind, like E, like you do notice, like he looked just as emaciated and kind of eyes sunken, sharp cheeks as they did.
Oh, okay. Then I'm going to dash over to where my friend and compadre is by the unlocked door, and never mind the other guy that's just fighting, because I believe whoever it is engaged can handle an emaciated man by himself.
Okay.
Not to leave him behind.
So when you say dash, you're using the dash action because you're only about 40 feet away from the door. What's your move?
Right. Yeah. So I don't have to dash in because my speed is 40.
Okay, so you can move up to the door.
I can move up to the door.
Yes. Yeah. And so you still have your action and bonus.
Yes. And is there somebody by the door? Is there anybody else by the door besides me and Ellery? Well, I know Ellery.
On this side, no. Do you just kind of like pop the door open just a little bit to peek inside?
Yes. Okay. And can I do like a spot check to see what I can see with my half elven eyes?
Oh, you don't even need to make a spot check because once you pop the door open, you open up into kind of a longer chamber, and up front you see like the glass front of this ship it is kind of the bridge, and about 40 feet in front of you into this ship. It's a lot smaller than like kind of the back of this ship. About 40 feet up, there's kind of a rise and kind of a dais, and sitting on it, and there's like some metal working that kind of curls up in like it almost looks like a torture device or something. But you see the body, the hairy bulbous rear of a spider, and these like 6 legs kind of propped up on this dais, and its forward hands are forward and holding on to these metal rods that end in handles, and his hands are on it, and there's 2 more curving pieces of metal that come up, and it looks like they're like in his temple. And he like, you see him like turn, like, and obviously the platform he's on kind of rotates, and he like, as the door opens, he like rotates the platform around and looks over at you, and these things are obviously semi-mobile. They kind of move with him a little bit, and he like turns his head, and there can be no doubt, Ellery, you passed that check earlier. Like, this is a Neogi. It's not a big one, but it is definitely a Neogi. And Dakul, now looking at it, you have heard description of these creatures before, with their hairy, furry, like spider-like bodies and eel-like head. They go into like an eel-like neck and head, and they are like just disgusting. And he turns and like opens his mouth with these jagged teeth and just, and you hear him speak in a language. He spits a curse out. Does anybody speak Undercommon?
Ooh, I speak deep speech. No.
Okay. Like you kind of pick up a little bit of what he's saying to Cool. Like, it almost sounds familiar with your knowledge of deep speech, but he just kind of spits out this guttural curse at you, and you see him like, get them. And this is when your attention is drawn away, and there are two more sailors. Basically, both of these are humans, and they're much bigger. Like, these guys, they don't look emaciated like the ones out there, but they still have this like blank look, and they both start moving forward to you, or they're about to like they're making a move. This is all happening on your turn. I'm just describing it, but it looks like they're about to start moving towards you. So you did your move action, and so you still have your action bonus.
Now is not the time to waste. For action is the only thing that we can do. I want to pull my longsword out. Excuse me, not my longsword, my katana out. The one that was hand forged by my teacher. And I want to sprint towards the first one. And giving my first blow, I want to keep in mind that I don't know who this is, and use agile parry as well.
Okay. So first off, you used all of your move getting up here.
Oh, they're not right in front of me?
No. They're about 20 feet off on either side, and it looks like they're turning to move towards you.
Oh.
Right? They're about halfway into the room. He's about 40 feet in. They're about 20 on either side, and they just kind of were standing against the wall, and now it looks like they're turning to move towards you. So you still have you don't have any move left, but you do have your action and your bonus.
Right. Okay. Well, can I use my agile parry as my bonus? No.
Your agile parry, that's when you make an attack, but you don't use your sword, so you can get a +2. No,
Right.
but you could take the dodge action just as an
Right.
action. And
Well,
so,
yeah, I'm thinking defensively.
okay, so you just stand in the door and just like adopt a dodge stance.
Yes.
Okay. So E, it's your turn. You're about 10 feet behind Dakul.
So I'm behind. I'm basically just behind them. Would I be able to get in and right up against these guys in my movement of 30 feet?
Yeah, you could push past Dakul. He's kind of standing in the doorway, but you could just easily like shoulder past him.
Yeah.
By the way, does your ability hurt your allies or just your enemies?
I did not say. So, unfortunately, E4 was not thinking about allies.
Well, don't worry. Right now, you walk past Ellery and Dakul, and both of you take 2 fire damage as your and I'll go ahead and look that up while we're continuing on. But as your robotic friend just kind of pushes past Dakul, and there's a singe as she kind of shoulders past you, Dakul, and Ellery, you kind of feel it, and you like look down, you probably have a sunburn on your face. And so, but yes, you can move up to either of those 2 guys, because they're spread out, but you can move up to one of them.
Yeah. So just to these 2 guys, not to the weird spider creature that I was just told by chat to kill with fire.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. So if I can, I'm going right up to the Miyogi, and if I'm close, if I can do it in that movement.
Oh, he's about 50 feet away.
Oh, okay. No. So to one of the.
Yeah, you can move up to.
So I'm going to go to one of the mindless drone people, and just backlit, eyes glowing red, everything glowing red. With hammer.
Mm-hmm.
That. So.
And I did look that up, and any creature within 10 feet of you takes that damage. So. So yeah, she walks by, and basically like a burning fire just walks by you in the form of E404.
Yep. So they do. They hit with a 19.
That hits. That most certainly hits.
With that warhammer, that does 8 points of damage, plus the 2 from fire.
So yeah, you walk up to this guy, and he's just like turning towards you, and you see his face kind of turning red and smoke wafting off of his beard as it kind of just burns a little bit. And you bring your hammer down, and you hit him like right in the chest, and he just and kind of goes down to a knee. He's not out, but he's like down. And so that's the end of your turn. Yes. So. Yeah, you knock the shit out of him, so Hilda, what are you doing to harass the?
I think I want to get right out in front of it, and so it can't see anything.
Okay.
Can't see where it's trying to go.
Okay.
That's the best thing I can think of, short of crashing into it, which might happen later. I don't know. That's my best guess. I want to show up. You say this has a glassed-in window on the.
The front of this is there's the view out, and it looks like some form of some kind of tempered glass. This is a spacefaring vessel.
Okay, probably gonna have to break that eventually. Sorry for spoilers, but I think right now can I do some sort of check to see sort of where I think it would be the most inconvenient place to be?
I mean, right in front of it, it would have to try to maneuver around you. That seems like a...
Because I assume it's a lot stronger than our little racing skiff. I don't want to
it's much bigger, but still, I mean, it probably wouldn't want to take a racing skiff right through the windshield.
Yeah, so I might do that soon.
Okay. You just want to try to put yourself in front?
Put myself in front so they can't see what's going on, and so I can see better. Yes.
Okay.
Yep. That's what I want to do. All right. Do I need to do a roll? piloting check?
Yeah, just go and give me a piloting check to actually maneuver up and get in front of him.
Natural 1. Hooray!
Natural 1. So you try to, and like one of the, like as you're maneuvering up, one of the legs of the Neogi hits your skiff, and you're able to control it, but you kind of drop back a little bit, and now you're gonna have to catch up to it again. But y'all on the Neogi Death Spider, you feel like it rock a little bit as you look over and you hear the crash of like wood and whatever weird material this ship is. It's hard to tell right now from where you are, but yeah, definitely you feel it. And it looks like Xander saw what you were trying to do, and he's also in his ship trying to move forward. He has a little bit better luck and manages to get near the front, but he doesn't get quite in front of it as he moves forward. His dwarf compatriot outside. It looks like he's like greased the ground, and a couple of them one of them has fallen prone. The other one is trying to move forward. The other two are like slowly like, Ellery, you see the other two that were engaged with, I should have had them make, yeah, they missed you anyway. I should have had them make attack opportunities on you, Dakul, as you ran up. So, Ellery, you see them as they're like moving forward. You see them like look in the door, and their eyes go wide, and their face, they adopt a type of panic that's even worse than before, and they like drop their swords. They're like, and then they look right at you, and they're like, "No, you have to hurry! Oh my God, hurry before he does it! Hurry!" And so you just see them like panicking over something, and so that makes it back around to the Neogi's turn. So you hear him bark out in kind of a broken comment, "Destroy them! Destroy them!" And then you see him like look out at the crew that was out on the back deck, Dakul, as the one runs up to you and tries to swipe at you with his, it looks like he has like kind of like a club, like a heavy club. And you were taking a defensive stance. Okay. Rolled a 5 and a 20. So he misses as he like hits you just kind of bring your sword up and just like knock it away at the last second. And E404, this guy like is trying to stand up like it's Rocky in the 15th round. I rolled a 20. So he crits on
just
you.
like Rocky in the 15th
Yeah,
round.
just like Rocky in the 15th. So yeah, you're gonna take 9 damage as he like brings his club up and hits you like right across the face. And the Neogi like looks back at the guys through the doorway that are back on deck, and he just kind of and like maybe it's laughter, you're not really sure, but he just starts to like cough like you failed and like reaches forward and like you see him flick this switch on the front of the dais of his kind of control panel apparatus, and from below underside of the ship y'all hear like the sound of like servos or some kind of latch being released, and y'all don't really know what's going on in the ship except you see the guys on deck freaking the fuck out. Hilda, from underneath you see what looks like a compartment of the abdomen of this ship loosen, slip, and then fall free. And as it starts to fall, everyone on the deck and on the ship can hear the screams, multiple, maybe women, some children, you're not really sure, but you hear as it starts to fall away from the ship. And on the deck, they're screaming, "Oh my God, no!" And that's where we're going to leave off for this week.
Ah! We were just about to get into the. Well done.
He's Pruitt.
What? But what?
Ah.
So anyway, that is the first installment. We're gonna have to. This is obviously going to be a to be continued, as the crew abandons the race. Bold choice. And you are making your ascent up, and yeah, like not really sure, but it looks like this compartment is broken away, and we're just gonna have to see what happens next week. So
Yeah.
before we go out, let's go around kind of in reverse order. Tell us who you are, where you would like people to hit you up, or whatever you're doing online, and let me know what you think. So we'll start with you, Trey.
Yeah, man, this is great. My character is that cool. He's the half elf with the cool jewels in his ears, smoking his herbal essences from his monastery. My real name is Trey Murphy. I can easily be reached. My social media is at Sintel for the Twitterverse. It's at Sintel for Instagram as well. So please feel free to hit me up whenever you want. What an excellent start, man. I'm loving my compadres that are with us, our partners in war. Got an amazing DM. I couldn't be happier. And what a cliffhanger to leave off on, man. I mean, I have no idea what madness is about to unfold on deck with what we're dealing with now and all the innocents that's stumbling to their foreseeable death. I don't know. So I guess we just got to stay tuned, man. It's good. It was well done.
All right. So Emma, it's been a while. How'd you like it?
I think it was great. I should have crashed it the first chance I got, you guys. I should have. I was like, oh, people want more round. Maybe they can do something cool. No, just crash into the fucker every time. I had a great time. My name is Emma Lambert. I am the communications director of WebDM. I have my own Twitter, SusieKing85. But really, if you're talking to WebDM, you're probably talking to me. So go ahead and follow that, like that. Talk to me about what you like, what you don't like, what you want. Just because I know people are asking, this will be on video on demand right away. And it will also be broadcast at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time on Saturday. Been answering that a lot. So there you go. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. Pruitt, it's like wrapping up in an old blanket. We've been gaming together for almost 15 years.
That we have. And it has been far too long since we have gamed together. So this was very exciting for me. Kiana.
Oh my god, that was so much fun. I love this already. I love all of the characters. They're all so great. They all have they're also quirky, and the dynamics already is already great. I was really excited that I could actually go into a rage in the first fight, which, the aftermath is going to be interesting for that. But yeah, I'm glad all of you are liking E44. They are my little robot baby who may be a killing machine. Maybe. Just maybe. But
I'm not.
what are you saying, Ferret?
I was going to say, I'm not really sure that the maybe is applicable at this point.
Yeah, no. First blood. Anyways, you guys can find me on Twitter at Kiana S. Don't worry, I'll put all the links in chat so you can find me all there. On Sundays, I am on a podcast called Ladies Slaying Dragons, where it's me and a couple of other cool ladies where we just chat about all things tabletop and RPGs. We're actually taking topic ideas right now, so if you go on that Twitter, you can send us some ideas to what we should talk about in the future. And on Thursdays, if you like what I'm putting down here, I am the Dungeon Master of Tales from the Twisted Tower over on Encounter Roleplay. That's twitch.tv/Encounter Roleplay. So if you guys like things like Twisted Fairy Tales and shenanigans and a lot of meta kind of fun, that's definitely the place to be. But otherwise, I'll be waiting until Tuesday where we got to do more of this, and I just can't wait.
Awesome. And last but not least, Greg.
I had a blast, man. I had it was a fantastic job. Pacing was fantastic, brother. You did a great job getting us there, getting the explanation down, getting us through the race, giving us the option to pull out, all of it felt very organic, very sandboxy, and I loved that aspect of it. The decisions were ours, which is always the best part of D&D, and you are the best part of D&D, my friend. You're everything that needs to be done, and I had a fantastic time playing with you, man. Ellery's going to take some getting used to, because usually I'm really dour and not happy and it up. So I'm loving the characters and the interaction. The players are fantastic. Anytime I can sit back and almost forget to RP myself, I know I'm in fantastic company, and that was the case tonight. Grimjack21502 on the Twitches and the Twitters. Tomorrow you can see me on Encounter Roleplay from 1 to 4 Eastern with the DM as we battle Cthulhu and lose terribly. And then tomorrow night you can see me on Unmade Gaming's channel doing Little City of Mist. Saturday nights from 6 to 9 Eastern on D&D's channel for Learn by Play, and my own channel on Sundays from 7 to 9, Grimjack21502, for a little Pulp Cthulhu, Project Athena. It's real pulpy. We punch Nazis. It's fun. Join us. Chat was fantastic. Love talking to you guys, but I can't wait for next Tuesday.
Awesome.
Starward Bound.
Yeah, baby. So yes, thank you to all the players. God, that was so much fun. I have not DM'd in forever. Felt like I had to knock off a little bit of rust. I think we did that. But everyone's characters are so great. I love how fucking cool Dakul is. I mean, it's right in his name. How could you miss it? I love how concerned Hildegard is. She is the essence of just motherhood and creation, right? And that's just what I see. Sorry. E404, you killing machine, Jesus Christ. And Ellery, I mean, who doesn't love a little halfling hopping around like a tiny little Jack Sparrow being a badass? So I mean, what more do you want? So yes, I'm Pruitt. Obviously, I'm co-host of WebDM. You can hit me up at JPruInc on the Twitters there. And I wanted to give a big shout out to Brandon Herbert, the producer for this show. He's been doing all the music cues and flipping up all of the images that you've been seeing on screen. He's been putting together most of this stuff. And I would be remiss if I did not give a shout out to Alexa Bonner, the artist, for all the character art, a few of the images there. You can hit her up over on Twitter at Alexa, that's Alexa with an H, _art. And so, yeah, you should go look her up there, and she might do some awesome fucking character art for you, because she's a badass. Yeah, that's right. You're damn right. But anyway, we love you out there. Hope you had a lot of fun, and we'll see you back next Tuesday for more hijinks. And do not forget, this is only one of 2 shows that WebDM is launching. So come back to this channel on Thursday, same bad time, same bad channel, and you can pick up with The Land Between Two Rivers, being run by the incomparable Jim Davis, my DM for life, my DM Boo and Bay. It's going to be good. I mean, this just is because he is. So you're going to love it. But as always, we love you out there, and may the dice ever roll in your favor.